everybody, welcome back to my channel MackPacking. I'm Mackenzie Nelson and I have just traveled India for the past 2 weeks. Specifically, I was in the northern state of Rajasthan, traveling around to all the different cities. And today I am breaking down exactly what I spent on different things while traveling through those parts of India. If you are wanting to travel Rajasthan, October was a really good month. There was hardly any rain. Weather was really good, bearable. It wasn't too hot. Prices were low. So if you have been keeping up on my channel, I flew from the country Georgia to Delhi on October 17th. But I did not stay in Delhi. I went straight to Jaipur and then I traveled through Pushkar, Jodhpur, Bikaner, Jaisalmer, and then ended my time in Rajasthan in Udaipur before flying to Goa in southern India, which is where I am now, and that will be a whole different series of southern India. Now, I have used the app Travel Spend since I started backpacking and since I was 19 and for all of my trips, and I absolutely love this app. It's super easy to work with, so I do recommend using this app if you are wanting to backpack or travel or even, whatever you want to do. It is a really good way to track your spending, track your budget. So that is how I'm able to tell you exactly how and what and when I spent. A few different of the categories that I'm going to go through is accommodation. For the most part, I stayed in budget hostels, but I also didn't choose the cheapest hostels. I chose nice, social, fun hostels. Then I will tell you how much I spent on transport. I used buses and trains in India, so I definitely got the best of both worlds. I even used lots of tuk-tuks and taxis and any kind of local buses too that I needed. Then we will go over food, which, spoiler alert, that is my biggest expense because I love Indian food and I spend so much money on chai. Even though it's 10 cents a cup, it is still an addiction of mine. There were so many different kinds of activities I could do all over Rajasthan, so many different palaces and fort and the safari and Jaisalmer and any kind of entrance fee into anything I wanted to visit. Then I will tell you any kind of extra things I spent money on, including SIM cards and drinks, as I use that as an extra and not food, and souvenirs. And then we will get to the grand total of what I spent, and then I will follow up with lots of different budgeting tips for you, specifically in India, but all over the world as well. All right, getting into those categories. Accommodation, as I said, I mostly stayed in hostels and one guest house, and I spent $71 on accommodation in the last 2 weeks, specifically 15 days, which makes it come out to just about $5 a night. And yes, I'm not even kidding, because hostels in India are very affordable and they love backpacker budgets. And then for transport, I spent $68. Buses and trains in India are super affordable, and you could get different classes based off different prices that you want to spend and different kind of comfortability levels. I usually got like third class options if I had the choice. I had one sleeper bus, but the transport also includes different tuk-tuks, and I did share tuk-tuks and taxis when I was able to. Then for my biggest budget was for food. I spent $114 on all the delicious Indian thalis and curries and chai. And then for activities, which is a really shockingly low number because I felt like I was just constantly giving money for all of these different tourist attractions, I only ended up spending $46 on activities in the last 15 days. This would be a very low total if you are an Indian and you're traveling India, because they do this thing where you have a foreigner price and an Indian price, and the foreigner price is usually like 4 times the amount for the Indian. I don't know why that is. If you do know, please let me know in the comments, because sometimes it really makes me mad. But with all that being said, I even didn't spend that much on activities, and I feel like I saw a lot in Rajasthan. And then because I have it as a whole different category, because it's so important to me, is I spent $42 on coffee. Coffee in India is so good and so cheap that sometimes I find myself getting 2 coffees. So that comes out to a total of $2.8 $12 per day for a coffee, and yes, I for sure have had one coffee a day at least. Call me an addict, but I do love my coffee and I love my chai. Now onto the extras category. I spent $14 on a SIM card for 1 month. It's 5 gigabytes using the app called Airalo. I've talked a bit about Airalo and I definitely recommend this app if you are traveling anywhere in the world. You could find so many different eSIMs that are super easy to install into your phone, and when you arrive in that country, you automatically have data. So with that being said, it was only $14 for a month, so I just calculated $7 for the 2 weeks in Rajasthan because I still have some leftover data that I'm using now. And like I said, I usually never input souvenirs. I don't buy a lot because I have limited space in my backpack. I'm not really going home anytime soon. I'm not going to ship things home, so I don't really buy a lot, and if I do, it's like a postcard or something small like a necklace. But I've only spent $7 on souvenirs, and I think that was most of my time in Pushkar. I did a lot of shopping in Pushkar, I felt like. So the moment you guys have all been waiting for is the total amount I spent in my 15 days traveling Rajasthan, and drum roll please, that amount is $360. So I rounded it to $360 over the last 15 days. That comes out to only $24 a day. So if you're asking me if India is really good for a backpacker budget, yes, it really is, specifically northern India, because now that I'm down south, things are a bit pricier, but the quality of things are so different. I'm honestly very impressed with that amount that I've spent in India so far, because my monthly budget is around $1,000 a month, and that means that I can live in India forever. So sign me up. I will be here for the next 6 months, so if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel so you can see all of my India videos. There will be lots coming your way. But we're not done with this video yet, because I wanted to give you guys some more spending and budget hacks and things that you could use for when you go on your trip, whether that be in India or the Philippines or South America somewhere, or even Europe. My number one hack is to eat where the locals eat. One, because it will always be cheaper if you eat local, but two, because you get more of an authentic feel for the country and for the culture, and sometimes you always meet locals in those foodie places, whether that be a food stand on the side of the street or a weird looking restaurant that ends up being the best restaurant you've ever had in your life. The second hack I have for you guys is to take overnight trains or buses, because it helps you save on accommodation for that night, and it's a transport to get you to a new place. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1, and it's like the best hack ever. And sometimes they don't really work out, and sometimes you arrive super tired and you feel like you wasted a day, but sometimes they are amazing and you wake up in a whole new city and you didn't spend any money on accommodation because you only spent money on the train to get there, which you were gonna do anyways. And my third hack seems to be an obvious one, but stay in hostels. And I will tell you why. They are amazing for meeting friends. You are always going to find friends in hostels. But two, they are usually always budget friendly, because you get a dorm bed for usually an average of $10 or even less in India. So if you haven't tried out any hostels, make sure that you try out a hostel. And a sub note for that hack is to compare prices on Hostelworld, Booking.com, and texting them directly. Sometimes I find in Europe it is much cheaper to text them and book directly so that they don't have to pay those online fees. Might save you even a few dollars. So that is everything I wanted to share with you today. Please let me know if you want a Southern India budgeting tips or hacks or packing or any kind of video. Please let me know in the comments. Please like this video if it helped you out at all, and subscribe to my channel to really help me out. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.